Hi, Nadine Briggs here, Director of Simply Social Kids. I wanted to talk to you about some of the topics that parents call me about with their kids, some of the issues that are causing them to have social difficulty. And as I think about kind of the list of the most common things that people really talk about, is that their child tends to have an issue with control. They want to control how other people play with them or how they interact or what rules they follow in a particular game if there's more than one way to play a game and that sort of thing. And they get very frustrated and they can get really angry if somebody isn't doing things the way they want them done. Or they might have a plan or an idea in their head that nobody else knows, and they're getting upset that somebody is not following kind of the thoughts that they have about how things ought to go. And it's a huge issue. And when you think about controlling other people, like let's say you want your child to clean your room, which you'll see a picture of a vacuum in front of a doorway of my son's room. I mean, he's 21 now, so I can't certainly make him clean his room. I can put a funny hint outside his door by having the vacuum like kind of staring him in the face when he walks out. But can I make him clean his room? No, nobody can really make anybody do anything. We only have control over our own thoughts, our feelings, our reactions to events that occur to us, but we can't control what other people do. And sometimes we have things that are insurmountable that we're trying to find our way through, and we just can't seem to get our way through that. And those are things that we need to just accept, things that we're not able to change. And I also want to share a little video of my grandnephew who is trying to get by his really big dog. I mean, my little nephew is, I don't know, 20, 30 pounds, something like that. He's just a little peanut of a thing. And his dog weighs over 170 pounds. So take a little watch of that video and you'll see during that video how he's trying to get by that dog to be able to get to his playroom. A seemingly insurmountable mountain of dog is in his way to get to his playroom, but he's thinking of all sorts of different ways to get there. And if you'll notice in that video, one of the things I really love about him in that he's not frustrated. He doesn't cry. He's a little tiny baby, but he's finding a workaround. And I think that's what we need to teach kids, is that you're not going to be able to control other kids, but there is a workaround. Like let's say you're going to play a game and there's more than one way to play. You can say, hey, let's talk about the rules. I tend to play it this way. How do you play it? And then maybe they can figure out a way to kind of decide on the rules and agree on those rules before they play, to sort of reduce all that frustration, that anger that can come with that. The other piece of control that is kind of frustrating for families is they see that as their child keeps trying to gain control over other people, they're getting more and more anxious about that. Because when you think about it, if you're trying to control something that you ultimately will never control, your anxiety around trying to do that's going to get higher and higher and higher. And you're going to experience more and more and more frustration. So what we really need to just to understand is there are things that are within our control. There are things that are not within our control. We can have influence over a lot of different things, but we ultimately don't have control over a lot of different things. And that's something that we work on with kids at Simply Social Kids all the time. I have to say it is probably the #1 issue that I do hear from families when they do intakes with us. And it's good for us to know that when we do an intake that we're getting that information so we know what the starting point is to work with any particular child or teen. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please subscribe and we'll see you next time.